What is going on, guys? Today is week 68. So 68 weeks since we started account 1 with 3,000 and account 2 with 10,000. Now this is week where 4th of July is on Wednesday. So I like these picks, but if it's going to be a slow week where we're going to put too much risk out there and be liable for it, I don't want to trade. So I want to check Monday morning, kind of see who's really in and who's not. I expect a slow start, and then after 4th of July, Thursday, Friday, to kind of be hotter days than Monday, Tuesday. So with that said, let's take a look at AXU. Looks good on the RSI, CCI. Had a good day on Friday, kind of gapped up here. The rune looks really good. The oscillator looks good, kind of at the bottom, and room to accumulate with the green kind of shooting up, about to cross over the red on the ADX. Chaikin money flow is kind of hovering right below zero, kind of going sideways a little bit because there's a little down slope on that because people sold off with the spike. When people buying in, people took profits. The sideways on the MACD, kind of perking up there at the end, and in light of Friday's buys and volume, and then same with the full stochastics. So let's take a look at AXU on the trend spider. Now I just use the trend spider to just point out support and resistance to me and current channels, up channel, down channel, or descending or ascending triangles, things like that. This just helps me go through it quickly rather than me pulling up a chart, drawing the lines myself. That just kind of cuts down on time. So here on the daily versus weekly on AXU, it's kind of bounced off this support here around 125, and now we're up to, can't really see it there, 134 end of the day on Friday. Next resistance up at 152, and down here with the hourly, it's tested this 137 resistance. So if you're going to get it at 134, look for it to break 137, and once it does and stays above that, then we're going to be in for the next test at 142. But if you see it hitting the 137 resistance often, bouncing off it, going down to 132, 134, coming back off, hitting the 137, not breaking through it, that's a good sign to just get out at 137, take the 1.5%, move on. But if it breaks through it, that's awesome. CBB is the next one. Good on the RSI and CCI. Now again, we don't typically buy a lot of stocks over $10, but there wasn't much going on in the under $10 when I was reviewing a lot of charts. Actually had to run a couple scanners to get some more stuff because next week is probably a good sellers week for those that bought some things that kind of ran up. So that's why next week is going to be 6:30. That's why next week is going to be a little different, just because 4th of July is in the middle of the week. People might just sell off, enjoy their vacation, and then move on to the next week. But again, in any market, these stocks, these penny stocks, which are typically $5 to $10 or even upwards of 15, have volatility and liquidity even in any market. Good market, bull market, bear market, recession, you're going to find stocks to trade. Again, the really thing that kind of jumped out on me on this after the RSI and CCI that caught my attention, has been trending up, does have some resistance up at 715, so a good $15.70 to $16 buy is really good. You can get a good 5 to 8 to 10% out of this. But what really caught my eye is this rune right here. It's just like itching to break out, and something breaking here that low, shows it's gonna break out and kind of pop up quickly. So I really like that. Like the ADX, a lot of people buying into this. The Chaikin rising high kind of goes inducive to the uptrend. People keep pushing it up, and you can see on the full stochastic it's kind of just floating in the 95, which is kind of oversold. So I want to watch this on Monday to kind of see what it does. If it continues, get a good 1570, 1575 buy, but I want to see if there's going to be a dip Monday morning. Let's pull it up on a trend spider to see where that dip might occur, if it does occur. Come on. All right, so here on the daily, let's see, about 2.5 weeks ago, bounced off this 1208 support, and it's rising up to this 1619 resistance. I mean, even if you grab it at 1570 and sell it at, let's say right below that at 1615, you know, that 2.9%, but that's what we want to see to break that, right? Again, if you're getting in at 1570 and it's bouncing off this 16, 14, 15 line and it's not going above it, then it's going to probably retrace down here down to $12, and you don't want to sell it at that point. However, the hourly chart, you know, shows it's trended past that mark, and it has same resistance here that we're seeing up here, about 1620, 1622, 19, in that range. So keep an eye on that one. KEG, again, RSI CCI kind of has this pattern here. You know, green on the, if you're looking at the CCI, green down to red, down up to green, down to red. Kind of has the same pattern, so looking for it to break that, and 1615 by here, looking for a little dip in the morning, and again, that is because the rune on the red is here at 48, so it's going to dip a little bit before I think we see it go out back up. Everything else is looking good. Chicken money flow is still a little bit above zero, and the MACD is kind of right below the zero line, so if it gets, and it's kind of angled up very little, but that's where it's going. So we'll see a little dip probably Monday on this one, and it's trending, so that's why I have a 615 buy on this one, kind of conservative, but we should see a nice rise on this one, I would say, throughout the week, as long as people are in the market buying and selling. So if it ends up being a stale week, maybe we'll hold these, and these will just be next week's picks as well. Was deciding to even trade this week, but I found a few setups that I think are valuable enough to trade. Here on the daily, again, it's right about 1624 right now. Support down here 530, and up here about $18 is this resistance. Good thing about this is here on the hourly, you know, it has an uptrending resistance line, so it's bounced off it a few times. And so the next one we're looking at 1687. So you still could squeeze out 3 to 5% even if it's testing this resistance line. Again, if it keeps bouncing off it and not breaking through it, then you want to sell it. Cool thing about Trend Spider though, you can right click a trend line, create an alert. If it touches it, you can kind of see on the right hand side it changes. If it bounces off of it, I like to do, if it breaks through, you know, I'd call this KEG break, and then I'd want a create an alert. So that's the cool thing about Trend Spider. So when it does break, you know, you can get an alert on that one. WTI, I'm gonna start searching it here and then pop back to the chart. It looks good on the RSI and CCI. You know, it's above 50 and you know, right below 100. This one's kind of had an up channel here about 3 weeks ago. Looks like profit takers, but it, you know, kind of leveled out about 650 and has been going up since then. I like it because it looks like the Bollinger Bands are about to break, and which when they go in opposite direction means, you know, either an up or down trend depending on where the price action is. But it looks like the Arun is kind of right there to pop. That's what I really like about this one. Room to accumulate. The ADX is, you know, kind of neutral. Again, with this downtrend, people have sold off, and it's kind of picked up again with the MACD and the full stochastics. You know, it's above zero, and the full stochastics is above 50, so that's another good sign. This one does have a lot of volume, typically over 2 million in the range of 3-4. This one had 2.7 million on Friday, so a lot of liquidity, a lot of volume, a lot of price action. Here on the Trend Spider, you know, it's kind of riding this support line here about 657, and it has room to grow up to 970. So where is it? So we have about, what is it, a 715 buy on this one, kind of where it ended on Friday, and I want to check Monday to see what happens. So see, it's been bouncing off this pink trend line up here, right about 727. Here it bounced off 730. So that's the one we want to watch it break and not bounce off this other one. If it breaks that one again, I think that's where you want it. But if it keeps hitting it and bouncing off of it, and it's starting to trend down, you know, we want to dump it and mitigate your risk, and also follow, you know, your risk mitigation plan. So that is WTI, Xene, XENE. RSI CCI looks good. Had a big day on Friday. Long, looks like opened about a little bit above 850, bounced all the way up to just about $11. And it's had this continuous pattern of spike, kind of roll back down, run back up, roll back down, but it keeps having higher lows. So back here end of April, you have a $5 low. Mid-May, late May, you know, you have this 550, 575 low. Up here now we have this 760 low. You know, grab the spike, watch it go down. Have this for a 920 buy, I believe. Looking for it to keep going in an uptrend. A lot of people sold off on Friday. It looks like because of the big jump up. But that doesn't mean it's not going to continue to trend up. So we'll watch this one on Monday as well and see how it performs. Xenon Pharmaceuticals, XENE. So it did break here. You can kind of see the yellow circle. It did break 2 weeks ago. The 734 resistance. So past resistance becomes new support until we find a new resistance. So this is where it broke up, 864, and there it is, 920 about. So we're looking at the trend up. You can kind of see it here on the hourly. So we want to see it break this $10 trend line and get up to 1137. We want to see it really break this $10. So when it breaks the $10, you know, again, that could be your 5%, but if it stays above it, that would be a nice run. But again, if it keeps bouncing off it, you want to get rid of it. SN, Sanchez Energy. RSI CCI again look good. It's trending up. Still have the higher lows. Bollinger Bands are kind of going in the opposite directions. Now it's kind of been, it's in a kind of a small uptrend, but it's an uptrend. The ADX is super separated array. The green and red are apart and the black line's curved up. I really like that, and you know, that shows strong momentum and positivity in this. The MACD is above the zero and kind of going sideways, but kind of slowly going up as well. And then you can see the full stochastics over the last 2 weeks, you know, it's bounced off to 50 and been climbing up. Still over 1 million volume on this one, almost 2 million. So it's a good sign this one has a lot of liquidity and price action as well. You know, those are the things we look at. That's our strategy, our momentum, swing trading strategy. You know, find it, get in, hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4 days max and get out. You know, that's the ideal scenario. So down here on the hourly versus daily, again, past resistance becomes new support. So this support line here at 447, we want to see it not cross. If it crosses over, that's not a good sign. I think we have the buy on this one right at 450, I want to say. I have to actually go back and look. I don't remember this one. 449, so it's pretty close. 449 buy, right above this resistance line, and looking for it to bounce off. So if it hits 449, I'll kind of see how the price action is at the point, and if it's good and not crossing down past it, then I'll grab it and grab that bounce off. But the main thing here on the daily versus hourly, or the daily versus weekly, has this weekly, this dash line is the weekly trend line. It's hit it on Thursday. Zoom in here. Yeah, hit it on Thursday at 474. You know, it looks like it almost retested it on Friday, but if we get it at 449, 475 is actually would be a good, or even 470. That might be 3 to 5%. Again, if it's gonna bounce off that, we want to see it break through. But if it bounces off that, stick to your plan, mitigate your risk, take your gains. 1, 2, 3% is still good. That's more than a savings account gives you in a year. So You get it 1% a week on your money, you're killing it already. Obviously, the more the better, but small gains over time is what makes us winners. So I hope this is helpful, guys. If you have any questions, email questions@madstocktrading.com, and we'll see you this week in the chat room.